Hello. Let's see if I can make sure everybody can hear me and see me and all of those things. I have no idea. Let's see. I'm going to check this out. I'm using a whole new program to go live and I don't know what I'm doing. Hello, Diet Disruptors. Welcome to our first live with Disruptive Nutrition. It's going to be messy today because, again, I don't know what I'm doing. This is a totally different program that I'm usually using. So I'm trying to see how I can get it all in. If you can see me or have any idea, if you can comment, let me know. Because I don't see anybody on. And I think my microphone, my computer is really slow right now. So if you are on, put a comment on, drop some fire, tell me where you are listening in from. And if you're watching this on the replay, then no problem, tell me where you're watching the replay from. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be connecting with everybody and trying to do our very first live. Oh, look, you can see me. A lot of people are having trouble with the new live. Yes, it is hard, but I'm also using a different program too to join into the live. So that's actually, I think, even causing more problems. So let's see. Okay, I see a few people on, and I can see some comments. So I'm hoping that you can keep... see, I got a comment right there. Isn't that fun? I can put the comment on there. So there you go. I don't know who that was. That's my problem. Let's see if I can get people in here. All right, I'm just going to start. And so if I have to do it all over again, I will. But anyway, tell me where you're from and what you're doing. I am Carrie from Disruptive Nutrition. I am so excited to be doing our premiere episode of Live with Disruptive Nutrition. Now, I have a philosophy that done is better than perfect, and I wanted to get this out to you. Is it as perfect as it needs to be? No. Do I want a different background? Yes. Do I want to make it like a little bit different? Yes. But I want to get started because I have so much to teach and so much to share, as do my coaches, and we just thought done is better than perfect. We're going to get going. We've had this idea for a while, and until it was perfect, I mean, what are you going to do? We actually need to implement and do so that we can learn from it and grow from it. Am I right? So that's true with everything in life. That's true with schoolwork, right? And I think about distance learning. We didn't have time to figure it out. Teachers just had to go in. Did we make a lot of mistakes? Yes. Do they figure it out? Yes. Is it perfect? No. So that is what we do with our nutrition. When people are doing our 4 weeks to wellness lifestyle launch, they do trial and error. We troubleshoot. We don't get it right. And it's never about being perfect, but always about growing. So that is what today's episode is going to be all about at the end of the day. Okay. So I can see that I'm live, but I can't totally see anybody that's on. So if you can make a comment, great. I would love to see it. You'll see on there, it says, if you can grant eCam live permission to see your name, then I'm going to be able to see your name through my portal. So if you click on that link, that'll be awesome every time. And then you don't have to do that every time, but from that point forward, I'm going to be able to see who you are. So I just saw hi there. Okay, I can see that that's Melissa because I'm on my two screens here. All right, so if you stay until the end of our shows, we're always going to have some sort of a special announcement or special offer, something cool just for all of you that were able to stay to the end, right? So, or an announcement of it, so you'll be the first to know. So make sure you do that. We're going to be on for probably about 15, 20 minutes each day. I know you are not going to sit through an hour-long show, and that's going to be kind of boring. But I have a lot of things I want to teach. So every month we're going to do a new theme, and I'm very, very excited about this. because we've heard from you. Everybody that joins our squad tells us what their number one nutritional challenge is. And it is so important to us that you feel like you're getting those needs met and those questions answered. So one of the things that we will be doing is answering questions during this show. So we will make sure we have a time for that. So tuning in live will be really important because I can answer your questions live as they come in. I get questions throughout the week, and so I save those for this as well in case people aren't able to ask questions live. So that's going to be one thing we're going to do. So we have a theme every month. This month we are talking about all the things that we have been taught that are wrong. Ways that we've been thinking we've been doing things right and actually causing more havoc and regression than we realize. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to dig deeper into that next week. And then the week after that is when I am going to actually do something a little bit special where I have my coaching training week-long series with Mark McDonald. So those of you who know who Mark McDonald is and who's been with us for a little while know that I did a great training session for all of you from Mark McDonald. This is Mark. This is who trained me. He is my mentor, and he did a 4-part training series just for you guys. So the last week of June, instead of doing a live with me, we're going to do a whole week of training, starting with a live on Monday, but then you're going to get 4 days in the last week of June. So very excited about that. So that is June. We are going to, I want to interact with you. That's why it's live. I could record this and then you just kind of get my teaching. But I don't want to do that because I want to interact with you. I want us to be able to build our relationship. I want you to be able to trust us and what we're sharing and what we're doing so that we can continue to work together. Okay? So I want to first kind of share a little bit about me. There are many people here that know me, but many people that don't. And we get new people in our group all the time. So I just want to give you a little background of me. If you are new to our group, make sure you check your emails because I'm sending you a small series of 5-minute videos that I have done to help you to understand the approach that we teach. And I do get pushback sometimes. They're like, well, how is your approach different? Our approach is different. And Mark McDonald is the person who 20 years ago really figured out what our bodies need and has kind of been perfecting it ever since. When I first learned this approach, it was life-changing. And those people that are living this lifestyle can attest to it as well. So I'm just going to take you back to just before I turned 40. I am now 45, so this was a couple years before that. And I remember being in my kitchen. I lived right outside of Cleveland, Ohio at the time. So any Ohio people, say hi. And I remember standing there in my kitchen with my 2 little girls and just crying. I was so frustrated and done. I remember sitting there and I was just eating another meal that was separate from my kids. Had been years of trying to track calories, reduce my carbs, eat just salads, drink wine, thinking like I could make up for like any eating bad or my drum wine drinking by just eating lettuce. I did all the things, and I was a college athlete, and so gosh, after pregnancy and stress and moving, we've moved all around the world, life just sort of caught up with me. And so 20 years after college, I was sitting there going, I am not the same person. Like I looked at myself in the glass in the kitchen and just literally broke and didn't know what to do. And continued to kind of just have that feeling of desperation for a while. No energy. It just felt like nothing I was doing was working. I felt like I had this body inside of me that wanted to come out and I didn't know how to do it. But the worst part was the way I felt about myself and what I know I was portraying onto my kids. I couldn't say anything positive about me because I didn't feel anything positive about me. And I've talked to so many parents that will say, I'm really careful with what I say around my kids because I know. And I'm like, I know, me too. But there's so much of the unintended stuff we are thinking that we end up living. So our mindsets dictate our beliefs, which dictate our actions. And so much of it is unconscious that we don't see it. If we think about the world that we're in right now and people talking about race, and if you are white in America, very often you have never had to think about race before. I've had to, just by having the pure blessing and joy of raising a child of color. And it was Ellie that taught me that I don't ever think about the color of my skin. And now that I do, I realize how many things I have said and I still say that could be perceived as bias or racist. And so it's the same thing with our nutrition and our beliefs about our body. We may think we are keeping it from our kids, but little things we say and do, little microaggressions against us, people see and people notice. And as someone who had an eating disorder in college, I was scared to death that I really didn't know how to raise girls. So I did what I really thought I needed to do, was join a gym. I really didn't hone in that I was doing anything wrong with my nutrition because I was doing all the things that people told me to do. I was counting calories, tracking them. I was making sure that I wasn't eating a lot of meat. I was eating vegetables. I was eating salads. I did all the things that everything says to do. I wouldn't eat after a certain time of night. I did the fasting. I did all the things, and I kept gaining more and more weight. And so the one thing I hadn't been doing was going to the gym. And I had lost that pretty much after college. So I just decided that must be it. It must be the gym that I'm missing, not the nutrition, because I'm doing all the nutrition things exactly the way all the people tell me I should do them. So I joined a gym. And I joined Living Lean out in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you are a Cleveland, Ohio person and you're in Living Lean, woohoo! I still, right now, got reintroduced back to Living Lean because they started doing virtual classes during the pandemic. And it's been wonderful to be back at it. But I did that gym for a year. And I didn't change the way I ate because, again, I thought I was doing it right. And I could feel myself getting stronger. But my body didn't change at all. And I was working so hard at the gym. And it wasn't really paying off. And I do think that there was probably a little bit while I worked out today so I could, cheat a little bit. But what I didn't realize was that the stuff that I was doing and working out the way I was actually causing me to gain more weight. It was causing my energy to slow down. It was causing some of the depressive beliefs and behaviors that were coming out through my heart. The depression was getting to be so bad that I actually started talking to my doctor about it. And I didn't realize that a lot of the things that I was doing with my nutrition and then adding the gym on top of it was actually causing that. What? Right? All right, tell me what you're thinking. Tell me how your responses are. I see Michelle is on. I'm super excited. So let's get into this a little bit more. So one of the things that I think is super important for people to recognize is that when we deprive our body of nutrients, when we take in less calories than we're burning, when we ignore an entire macronutrient group like carbs, macronutrients, think of the word macronutrients. There are 3 macronutrients that our bodies need: proteins, fats, and carbs. We think carbs are bad. And yes, if we ate, a loaf of bread, because carbs are sugar, it will turn into sugar and we will store body fat. But what we do, and we tend to do, is we swing the pendulum all the way. Carbs are bad, so don't eat carbs. Carbs aren't bad, right? Carbs are a macronutrient. We need it. So when we deprive, we swing the pendulum and we deprive ourselves of something our body needs. Our bodies, as the amazing machine that they are, will accommodate us, but not in the way we think they will. So what happens if you starve yourself? You're going to lose weight at first. That's what all diets do. So what I was doing was actually putting my body at a deficit. What I want you to think about is, when is a deficit a good thing? That's what I want you to think about. When is it that a deficit is good? Like never, right? Financially and in our bodies. So our bodies have to make up that deficit. If we're in a budget and we have a deficit and we have to spend, we either have to cut spending or we have to get more money, but we can't keep a deficit going for long. It will bottom out. And that's what we do when we start to reduce food intake and we aren't fueling our body the way it needs to. It's like running our car on fumes. And so that's what I was doing, you guys. And then, adding insult to injury, I started working out. And let me tell you why that was so problematic. So now my body's working at a deficit. So when your body works at a deficit, it's got to get your nutrients from somewhere. So it's going to start pulling nutrients from my muscles, from where that dense, good stuff is. And as a result, it's going to start to slow down my metabolism. My body doesn't trust me. So everything I start eating, it's going to start to hold on to, because it's saying, oh my gosh, it's like when you're in a budget deficit and every dollar you bring in, you save, because you're like, I can't spend it because we're at such a deficit. We have to curb spending. That's what your body does. It's curbing spending. It's like, I can't burn this off. I don't know when she's going to pay me again. I gotta hold on to it. And so they hold on to food. So at first, you're gonna start to lose weight. And then, because your body is working at such a deficit, it's almost like at first you're only short $5, $2, whatever. No big deal. You can still go. You're looking lean. It's fine. But then you start getting that deficit, that debt adds up. And so now your body's gonna start holding on to food. And so then when I started working out, I now put myself at more of a deficit, right? So now my body is just trying to hold me up, trying to keep me going, and it's impacting my mental health, my physical health, How many people are super cranky all the time? Well, if we're putting ourselves at a deficit, if you're tired, really tired, like think about a 2-year-old when they're super tired, you're like, you need a nap. Come on. That's what our bodies are doing to us. You guys, it's all physical. We keep thinking we don't have enough willpower. And it's our fault that the diets kept failing. But do you see, all of what we are doing is actually sabotaging our goals because we're putting our body in debt. And so every time it gets food, it literally has to hold on to it because it doesn't know when they're getting that payment again. And when you work out on top of it, you're not giving your body any chance to rest. So you're just putting your body in more and more stress. And then because you have less energy, you think, I have to have more coffee. And then I was so depressed that I would be drinking more and more wine, which is a depressant, right? So you can start to see the cycle. How we live our days then turns into how we live our weeks, our months, and our years. And this was years of me living like this. And then working out for a year, still not making any progress, and even more tired than I was before. Until somebody actually started teaching me. And it was haphazard, and I will always be grateful for this man. Joe, who ended up becoming my mentor and nutrition coach, who was trained originally by Mark McDonald. I got to meet him in my gym, and he said to me, Carrie, do you think eating an apple or a pizza with chicken is going to bring you closer to your goals? And I was like, well, heck, an apple. He's like, no, pizza with chicken. And then I'm like, okay, I'm either going to love you or I'm going to think you're a total quack. And that's when he started teaching me about fueling my body with food. And it started to make so much more sense. And I was just like, wait a minute. Why are we taught all of these things? You guys, it was I remember on day 7 of fueling my body, I did pistol squats. Do you know what those are? I stand up. I'm not going to do it because that's ridiculous. Actually, I can't even show you on this. Stand up on a platform, like on a table, and you squat down with one leg and then get back up again. That's impossible. Well, not anymore. It was impossible in my brain. I remember trying to do these pistol squats. On day 7 of eating this way, I literally did a pistol squat, didn't put my foot down on the floor like I normally would have had to do, and push myself back up. And I did it with 15 pounds of weight. And that's when I knew, oh my gosh. Now, of course, like it's a process that lasts a long time. And depending on where everybody's is, they move faster or slower. Everybody's going to have a different rate of progress. But just think about that. I started giving my body fuel every 3 hours, the right macronutrients in the right portions at the right frequency. And in a week, my body started to tell me, yes, girl, yes. So when your body tells you, no, this isn't working, it tells you that through sugar cravings. It tells you that through a lack of energy. It tells you that through weight gain. When you are doing what you think is right and yet you aren't making progress, you need to start thinking, maybe I'm not doing it right. Now, why is it that people teach us this way? Because in the diet industry, they need you to have the quick win because they know that you rely solely on that motivation of quick progress. And they don't teach you anything about understanding what progress actually looks like and what a lifestyle and long-term progress should look like. They teach you lose weight fast. And so our culture has taught us, get on the scale. You should lose weight. You should lose weight. If you're not losing weight within day 1, it's not working. And so if you lose weight fast, you're like, yes, this diet works. But you can't do it for the long term because your body is at a deficit. It was mind-blowing for me. It's mind-blowing for all of my clients. My coaches are coaches because their minds were blown and they want to change lives of others. It's so powerful to fuel your body with food. I'm going to show you this really quickly, okay? I'm going to see if I can. Nope, that's not the one I want to show you. This is the one I want to show you guys. Blood sugar stabilization, okay? So this is what it's all about. If your blood sugar is stable all day long, which means you are fueling your body with the right foods at the right time, you're not hungry, you're not full. Your blood sugar is stable. Now, some people will say when they fast, I can't get this out, hang on. Some people will say when they fast, yeah, but I was hungry at first, but my body then, I wasn't feeling that hunger anymore, so I was fine. No, not fine. Your body just stopped yelling at you. It's like, you know when you yell at your kids over and over again to clean their room and they become 15 and then you're finally like, forget it, I'm going to stop yelling because I'm done right now. You're still pissed that the room is messy. You're just stop yelling about it. That's the same thing. Your body's like, this isn't cool. I'm just not yelling at you about it anymore. So think about this. When we overeat, we eat too much food, too many calories or carbs or any of that, boom, our blood sugar spikes and our body's going to store fat. If we skip a meal, if we restrict calories or carbs, or we exercise an empty stomach, and I did that for a year, your blood sugar will drop. Your body burns muscle and it holds on to fat. You get any energy crashes and your cravings increase. The goal is right here, you guys. This is what we want. So if you're not doing that, you're sabotaging your goals. This works for everyone because everybody's blood sugar needs to be balanced. That's human. That's physiological. This isn't about whether fasting works for this person or if keto works for that person. No. This is about what everybody's body needs. And you know that because when you're really hungry, how many of you get cranky? And when you're really stuffed, you're like, oh, I feel gross. That's all you need to know to realize that blood sugar stabilization is a necessary component for your life. When you get to your optimal health through eating clean and blood sugar stabilization, you get to your optimal weight. Your optimal weight is not going to be my optimal weight. It's different. And we're going to talk about body shapes and all that kind of stuff. But in all reality, what you need is your blood sugar stabilized. Okay, so I told you if you stay to the end, I want to know what you think about this, okay? And if you stay to the end, I'm going to tell you about something exciting. So every couple of months, my coaches and I put together some free trainings for people. Now, you're going to get free trainings every Monday at 11:30. Which I'm super excited about. But we are going to put together a small 3-day seminar next week. You guys have probably heard about 5-day seminars we've done. We've done webinars. We like to change it up. This is going to be a little different than what we've done before. My coaches and I are all sharing responsibility of this, and it's going to be 3 days because we've done 5 days before and we love 5 days, but it can be overwhelming and time consuming and nobody's got time. And it's summer and we want to just learn and move, right? So 3-day seminar. I'm going to put a link in here for you, and I want everybody to register for it. If you haven't done one of our trainings before, this is going to be great. If you've done one before, there might be some information that you feel like you know, but here's the thing. Even preparing for this live right now, I know this stuff, you guys. I teach this stuff. I wrote the program on this stuff, and it reinvigorates me. And it reinforces for me. So if you've done one of our free seminars before, come back for more. Also, every group that's in there is different. And I love the dynamics that each group takes on. So this is a 3-day seminar, new content, new stuff. Some stuff you might have heard before. Some stuff is going to be new. So make sure you do it. It's totally free. Registration is happening this week. It's going to be housed in a separate private Facebook group. And we're going to start learning next week. Okay? So I'm very excited. See, you're going to look for posts all week around this content in Diet Disruptor Squad. We're going to try and keep some consistency. Tomorrow, my podcast drops. And guess what I'm talking about, you guys? More about this. So you're going to learn a lot of really great stuff. So look for your email tomorrow to get the link for our newest podcast episode. I'm so excited about the show. I hope you found this exciting and motivating. I want to know what you took from it and go from there. So this was a little bit off because, I'm a little bit off right now with how this is going to work. But if you have questions and all of that, I want you to be able to put it in here. Melissa, thank you. She said, I give so much content and training. We're super passionate about this. And we want you to know that wherever you fall on your health journey, we have a place for you. So if you want this inspiration and understanding the foundational concepts, this group is full of that, right? Like we really care that you are inspired and motivated and can learn different kinds of aspects of things. But if you want to take your health to the next level and really dig into this and do it right, I think about our whole group of people that are finishing a 4 weeks to wellness lifestyle launch right now. 4 weeks ago, they didn't know how to do this, and today they could teach it. That's how far they've come in 4 weeks. So if you want to get your health to the next level and really springboard off, we have a place for you there too. It's called our 4 weeks to wellness lifestyle launch. It's not open right now, but go to 4w2w.com if you want to check it out. You can even put your name on the list to be an early bird when we open up for just early bird registration. But we're going to do a group on July 6th. So I hope that you'll think about joining us there because it's super powerful. But for now, I see you in this group. I hear you. I can't wait to see and hear more of you. And I will see you next Monday. Let's see if I can turn you off too. I don't really know. Bye. Oh, Andrea. Hi, it's good to see you.